It's 7:30, almost on the dot. And I don't know how I did that because I was talking to my mom before I came on here. So I don't know how I actually got on the dot time-wise in any way, capacity, shape, or form. I'm going to be doing a Temu haul. So as you all straggle in, I know it's 7:30 and there's lots of other like news and stuff on, and I don't blame you for watching something else, but I'm going to do this and leave it here for y'all to watch. Yes, I've been crafting all day. My hair is a mess. I look a mess, but I'm going to show you what I've been working on. So I made an I bought an iron-on transfer, and I ironed it on to a really pretty wool felt. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Gypsy. My mom is supposed to be jumping in because I've got a surprise for her in my Temu haul. But I wove this today, and then I did an iron-on transfer, and I did a cow skull with feathers. And then I'm, of course, going to drape the ribbons and feathers off the bottom. So I've got this far on this today. So I have been busy. Let me unplug my glue gun before I forget to unplug my glue gun. That would totally be something I would do. I have got, let me see if I can pick this up without knocking y'all over. I've got the first layer of paint on this that I'm going to decoupage cows and horses and bridles and saddles and farm equipment onto. Because I want to. Hey, Kim. Hey, Pocahontas. We're going to be doing just a quick, I'm going to get this up to speed on my crafts. I've got my bottles of booze behind me. That sounded so bad. And then Mom's going to jump in because I've got something for Mom in the Temu haul. But look what I made last night, y'all. Gray fox, crystals, bobcat jaw, real dried flowers. And look at all this ribbon. Y'all say, why do you shop on Temu so much? Because I can get this stuff on Temu way cheaper than I can get it at Hobby Lobby or Walmart or anywhere else. Look at how gorgeous this is. It's a gray fox with a bobcat jaw, real dried flowers, prisms, and all this beautiful ribbons. And I'm going to add some more organza. I'm waiting on a different color, like a pale peachy pink. That's going to be really pretty. And then y'all, I don't think y'all can see all of this one. I've got a huge embroidery to go on this one. This is like shaped like an eyeball. Okay, this is almost as tall as me. It's shaped like an eyeball. It's going to have an embroidery all through the middle. But I want you to look at all of this that I've got hung from the bottom. And it's going to have a very intricate, delicate embroidery in the middle when I get done. And it's going to have some more organza on it as well. I'm waiting for my organza order to come in. Seems like organza takes forever to get here. So, but y'all know that I like to share my Temu orders. And I finally won farmland. So I won $70 in coupons. I already used $40 in coupons on my daughter. It just happens that way. And then I got a big peacock stand for my front porch and a big farmhouse rug, which my husband's shoes will ruin in no time. But y'all, I go through rugs like toilet paper because of his job. So I need rugs. And then I'm about to win Fishland, and I'll have 2 peacock planters and I forget what else. I think a cow blanket is what plus more Temu cash. The games are annoying as heck. I'm not gonna lie, they're annoying as heck, but they're fun because you get free stuff. And listen, if you're like me and you have to have an hour and a half every day to put your legs up, then by golly, you might as well be making money somehow. So I'm making these little Chinese people pay me money. You know, I mean, it works for me. Okay, so one of the first things I got was these little tiny lights, and there's 1, 2, 3. I think there's 10 in here all together, and they can be clipped or glued, and the batteries can be easily changed. Easier than the wine bottle push-down lids, easier than the flat ones that you can glue, and they can be more easily hidden because they're about half the size of the flat ones. The flat ones are about that size. They're about the size of your thumb, so these are much smaller. I can hide these in the floral arrangements and poke them into a wreath, into a wine bottle. These are just, and they have more lights on them per string. I believe the wine bottle corks have 20 per string. I believe these have 45 to 60 per string. So So I got all 10 of these, and I believe that these were around $4.49, but I got them on a lightning deal. Normally they're around $6. Oh, look, my mama's in the room. Donna Schultz. That's my mama, y'all. Say hello to my mama. I swear she taught me manners. And if you want to see a picture of perfect patience, it's my mother. And I just, it didn't stick to me. She tried really, really hard. It just didn't stick to me. Okay, so I bought, the only thing, well, I bought a few things for me, but I bought the best friend necklaces. Now, these are stainless, and they all three have different charms that hook together. And I bought this for me, Kim, and Brina Dawn. So, Kimbo, if you're watching, you're going to have to come back by the house again. Okay, now, look at this awesome ribbon I found, because I'm fixing to do a peacock-inspired dream catcher. And so when I saw this, oh yeah, I bought it. Now these even come with pins in it, so I've been racking up on the pins lately. I've been getting me a whole lot of new pins. Look at that. It sheens to different colors, from like a blue to a purple to a gray. It's so pretty. It's gonna be pretty. So I'm gonna mix that in with some blues and golds for a peacock dream catcher. Now I do have something for my mother in here. Oh, and I'm starting to buy dried flowers and put dried flowers all over the girly dream catchers that the girlies like. I can make girly things, see, and they sell. But these dried flowers, they were real. I thought, oh, they're lawn dust. No, they're real dried flowers. I have 3 containers of these. These are about $3, I believe. Temu outdid themselves. If you go and buy dried flowers anywhere else, or you dry them yourself, oh my gosh, how much they cost. It's just unruly. So these are great. I get a lot of these little accentuating, I call them doily ribbons. I don't know, crocheted ribbons. These are like 30 cents a quarter a piece. And I can cut them and do little accents around on places on my dream catcher I need to hide something. And it's beautiful. It's pretty. It's a very intricate hand-tatted thing. It was probably done by machine now, I guess, but people still do hand-tat. But I buy these. They're like 17 to 25 cents for a yard. You can't beat that for something that intricate. So I buy lots of these. Lots and lots of these little crocheted ribbons, because you get them for literally nothing a yard. And if you go to Walmart, they take everything from you. I'll be by, you may run up to broad. Okay, that's fine. I'll be here. I got this because I thought it would also look pretty with, it's a stiffer ribbon, but I thought it would also look pretty with the peacock dream catcher that I'm going to do, and I'll have plenty left over. I believe all of this was $1.07. And if you know what lace and all this stuff goes for, that will blow your mind. And y'all, I measure. I do my granny's measuring when I get it to see if they shorted me. They don't short me. Matter of fact, sometimes they give me more than it said it was. So they don't short you. So I've been very flattered to find that out. Now, I did buy one bunch of fake flowers because these girly girls that like my dream catchers like roses. They can't go for dandelions or sunflowers or daisies. So I got, of course, it's the worst for wear after coming from a different continent, bless the heart, but it's got 21 buds on it, and they all look extremely real. I mean, these are the realest looking. They look like dried flowers, and you kind of have to give them a little fluff every once in a while when you use them, but they are the closest thing to real flowers in the way that they handle, touch, and look that I found. And so I pay for them, and I think I paid $2, $1.79 or $2.02 for this bundle. And if you were to go to Walmart and try to buy 21 little rose buds, you'd be losing some money right there. So Temu is an awesome place to craft. They also sent me a coupon, which basically equated to me spending $26 for $101 worth of stuff. I can't be mad at them. Oh, this is something I got just because it's Halloween almost, and I have to. We go to a lot of festivals starting Halloween. How in the world do you get into this? Good Lord, have mercy. When in doubt, pull the scissors out. This is cute. This was 67 cents, and I thought 67 cents, it'll make me smile. It'd be cute for 67 cents. It's little bat wings and a hair clip. Y'all know I always have my hair up. So it's little bat wings and a hair clip, and I got something even funnier in here too, but I thought that was cute. That was I needed a giggle moment, so I spent 67 cents on a giggle moment. Oh, this is the darker checkered buffalo check, but it's got a black, a very black edge to it, so it looks black from the side. I'm going to use this in some of my holiday stuff and then swing the rest of it over to Christmas and brighten it up with silvers and reds and stuff. This was, if I believe, I think it came out to 15 foot. I think I gave $1.47 for it. It's very thin, but it's very beautiful. Oh, here is the organza I've been waiting for. Okay. And I'm watching the pins, Mom, because you know if I find a pin in anything, I will be the one stuck with it. If she ever hemmed my skirt, I would miraculously move so that she would stick me. This is the organza I've been waiting for. It's going to tone down that seafoam, that green, and go with the embroidery patch that I have to go on that giant dream catcher. And that giant dream catcher is going to have like a $85 to $100 tag on it, y'all. I ain't giving my work away for free anymore. I'm getting really good at it. I'm getting well known for my work. More crocheted lace. These were like a quarter to 47 cents a yard. I mean, dadgum. I've got something in here for Mom, though, if I can find it. If I can find it. What in the world is this? What did I order? Oh, the little bendy straws that you can tie florals down and they're already pre-cut. Literally 47 cents for like 100 of them. That way I'm not trying to cut things I shouldn't with my scissors. Sorry, Mom. I cut things I shouldn't with my fabric scissors. There's a purpley crochet that I'm also going to blend in probably in the peacock dream catcher. I'm digging. Hang on. Said they were supposed to be in here. I'm going to be so mad if they're not in here. I've got a box behind me. They may be in the box. It could potentially be in the box. Oh, I got more of this green vine. You can get this green vine for $1 to $1.97, and you can get from like 30 to 300 foot. So every time I catch it in a lightning deal, I buy it. It's beautiful. More crochet, peach crochet to go with that. A huge roll of like iridescent gray, black, purpley for Halloween and to add some depth to some garlands I'm going to be making for some festivals. Tan. This is the tan checkered, just like the black checkered, tan on the side, pattern from the front, just like the black that I had showed earlier. Okay, fat girls, listen up. I'm going to tell you something that you don't want to hear of it, okay? They have these breeches that are leggings that look like breeches. And when I say they stretch, I mean they stretch. They stretch, they stretch, they stretch, they stretch. These are great because if you like to wear long tunics with the boots up to your knees like I do for fall, these are great because you can still keep warm, but if you're like me and you go somewhere and you get hot, you're not going to be super, super, super like sweating in blue jeans. These are great, but the great thing is somebody that's more than 3 foot away can't tell you don't go on blue jeans because they look just like blue jeans. Okay, and if somebody gets close enough and says you're not wearing blue jeans, they're too close to you. Smack them. No, don't be violent. Pray for them and then tell them to leave. But these look just like jeans. I've had them on and fooled my husband I don't know how many times. I've got a blue pair. I wanted a black pair because I've got a shirt that only black will really go with, and I've got black boots for a lot of these fall craft fairs, and I have busted and not busted but nicked my leggings so much that I'm like, no, I'm not gonna wear those again. Now y'all, you have to dig sometimes in these bags because customs will tape things to the bags. And I feel big because Temu sent me a box. Also, fat girls, if you like pajamas that are soft and you don't like things on your arms when you sleep and you like a racer back, this was, I think, $6. It's got a little ruffle on the bottom. And it doesn't get stuck on my biceps and my shoulders when I sleep. But it's still cute. And I can still like put on my little robe and I'm decent to go through the house if I have company. So that's important. Let's get this box. I've got one funny to show you, but let's get this box out and see. Because I ordered Mom something. This box is making noises. And it's kind of scaring me. I don't know if that is a good thing or a bad thing. But I made it to where Temu sent me a box. It's probably just a box of something. And if the other things are not in here, I'm going to throw a hissy fit because I specifically ordered me and my mother something. And if I don't find them, I'll tell you what they were, and I'll go scream at the customer service on Temu and get them sent. How do you get into this darn thing? Okay, hang on. This may be, out of the refunds I had in my orders, I had $15-something, and I needed a shelf for my bathroom. I've been trying to be creative, but creativity has not done well with my shelving issue in my bathroom. So I ordered a shelving system, and I think this is probably it. I'm amazed that it beat everything else here. But I'm thinking with the sounds it made, that's what it is. And if this is it, then they have forgotten one thing in my order, so I'm going to have to call and squall them. Oh, wait. There's more in here. Woo. Well, I did not order that. That's a freebie. Anything else in that? It's like the closet to Narnia sometimes. You never know what's in there and what's out. Okay, that looks empty now. Well, they sent me a freebie, but I'm still gonna call and complain because I don't see the earring. Okay. Let's look at this first. I don't know what this is. What is this? It's a lot of fabric, if nothing. It's definitely polyester, but it's got a little bit of stretch to it. Oh, well, it's a pretty dress. Hello, wait. We don't want to show that much cleavage. It's a little dress that goes right through there. It's a little mock wrap dress. And it literally goes down to right above my ankle. If you've seen these, you know that they've been putting some on sale. And sometimes because I order so much craft stuff, they send me freebies. And they do monitor your size when you order clothing, and they send you the closest in your size that they can. This is my shelving unit that's going in my bathroom. It is a 4-shelf, almost like a salon trolley, and it's got wheels. So when I want to do laundry, I can just roll it behind me up the hallway, fold my towels, fold my washcloths, put them all in there, and roll it back to the bathroom. And I don't have to bend over, pick nothing up, and this thing is super light. Everything's in here. Super light. This is great for seniors. Oh, gosh, I've gotten there. Anyway, great for seniors. And it's just a handy-dandy little thing that if you can't use it in one place, you can use it in another, and it'll all work out. But I'm going to make Dave put that together tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to show you my funny, and then I'm going to complain because unless it is stuck to something else that I did not see, they did not get that in here. So I'll have to call and say, send it to me. before I come after you. Because what I had ordered me and Mom were little earrings that had the old time treadle machines, not the table or anything, but the top old timey machines. And they were big, but they were not too big. But they were the old timey sewing machines and earrings, and I wanted them, and I wanted me and Mom to have matching earrings. Doggone it. So I'll have to call and scream at customer service and let them know that somebody didn't put it in the bag. All you geniuses over there overseas, put stuff in the bag. Okay, now I always dye my hair darker during the winter. Anyone who knows me, you saw those? Yeah, they're adorable, aren't they, Kim? They're so cute. I mean, they look like the little old sewing machines. You sound like you're going to sit there and just start winding and sewing. It was so cute. They have some cute stuff, Ashley. If you all do not like Temu, if nothing else, get your craft stuff and your like sponges and cleaning supplies there, because I got a 12-pack or a 10-pack, 12-pack of sponges for $1.27. Two of the same sponges at Walmart will cost me $3.27. Y'all ain't no sense in that. Okay, so in the winter I dye my hair darker. Okay, so I dye my hair darker. Let's just do this for a second. Let's pull this back. Okay, look. Okay, now act like I have it all pulled up. So I go darker in the winter. So in preparation for going darker in the winter, and because I like to be an idiot and make people laugh, and I like to irritate the far out of my husband and act like a 5-year-old sometimes, I got not one, but 2 buns, so I can have space buns. Now, do I have enough of my own hair? Yes, I will wrap my own hair around there and finish them off, and I'll have ginormous space buns. I just thought this was the cutest thing. They're darker, but I always darken up during the winter, so I will just finish by putting my hair. I actually think I have 2 hair. Yeah, I do. I have 2 hair bows because I have so much hair. I will just finish by wrapping my hair around here and having like ginormous space buns. Now, y'all, work with me here. I don't have a comb or a brush or nothing, so. But, I mean, I will have big old honking space. I got a lot of hair, y'all, and I've lost a lot of it since menopause hit me at 30 when I had to have a hysterectomy. But let me tell you something. I got enough hair for about 3 people. And so what I'll do, I just completely messed that one up. What I'll do is just make me have giant space buns. And I will annoy the far out of my husband because he hates it when I do this with my hair. What are you, 5? Yes, eternally. Thank you. It's what keeps me young. I love these things. Of course, I do have to darken my hair up during the winter, because I do start looking kind of sickly if I don't. Ain't they cute? See, Kim likes them. Well, Gypsy, if you want to borrow my space buns, I'll let you borrow my space buns. Hey, I like being 5 years old. And look, just for added effect, there I have a bat in my hair. Y'all, you have to laugh at yourself, because if you can't laugh at yourself, what is life all about? I mean, my goodness, you gotta. I spent way too many years of my life in such serious confines, and now if I can laugh at something, I'm going to laugh at it. So this is what I enjoy. I love irritating my husband and making him roll his eyes at me. I actually, like, my record is like 5 times in one day. So I do have pictures of me, Mom, and Haley. And I'll put one up on the community page later. I haven't edited because today has just been a rest, craft, catch-up day. And then I heard the FedEx guy go, "Hey, Liz," and he dumped everything on the porch. So, yes, they know me by name. So I went out and got my stuff, and I thought, well, I'll share. But I'm kind of irked that my sewing machine earrings were not in here. But this is actually the first mistake they've really made. And if they get something late, you get a $5 credit. Because this came after 5/18 today, I get a $5 credit. I had enough $5 credits to buy that shelving unit for my bathroom. So, I mean, hey, I know. I think I can rock a bun with 2 buns, space buns. I think they look cute. I think when I actually put some effort into it and make them look like they actually belong on my head instead of being attacked by my own hair, it'll be cute. But I just like to annoy David. So I wake up and go, what can I do today to annoy my husband? I really do. I do that a lot. So this is what I've been working on. I've also been working on, oh, hang on. I want to show you one more thing. I have crafts stashed all over my house. Okay, so you remember the gnome brigade that I made my own little gnome army last year? Well, I got given like 80-something wine bottles. And so he has got, I actually think that is pronghorn antelope, but I give him a little white wolf. This is that North Dakota trapper that swaps fur with us. I give him a little nose, this little gnome, his little wine bottle. He's wrapped in fall leaves and then just red plaid, just a little jute bow with a little red plaid to hide the bottle thing. But look at this. He's a lamp. He glows really good. So I'm making gnome wine lamps. And then I'm also making the bottles of booze. That sounds so bad. And scarecrows. I only have one left because those have already been selling when people see them on Facebook. And I'm fixing to make my very first Frankenstein out of a green bottle. And then I think Kim and I are going to work together to, she's going to cut me some decals, and I'm going to etch some bottles. And then we're going to put lights in them and have like the darker amber green etched light bottle lamps. Libra cats. I thought of you today when I shocked my pool because it was still super, super clean, but we've got rain on the way. And I thought I need to shock my pool. Every time I shock my pool, I think about you. And I'm like, I've used so little shock this summer. It's been great. So it's been awesome. I'm going to be in it a few more days and then it's going to turn chilly, but we'll see. I'm going to try and get in a few more days. But so I'm making lots of stuff, and I'm going to be making garlands, bone garlands and regular garlands. And that's about where I am right now. That's kind of where I'm at right now. And as I get stuff done and completed, I will post pictures in the community page. But I'm really excited about this for some reason. It's just such a simple idea, but I really love that. And I'm excited to see how I can kind of amp it up. I've noticed that people some people like the authentic, really tribal stuff, and some people like the really girly stuff. So I'm going to give them each an option. Gypsy, myself, and Kim will be going to a bicentennial historical event on my town square on the 23rd. David will actually be on the 23rd going to True West again. And then, let's see, the 17th, David is in Bandy Creek for, I think it's the fall time storytelling event. They're going to have vendors. He's going to be there. And then the next weekend, he's at True West. I will be up here at the historical thing. I feel good enough. Me and the girls we're going to kind of bombard that one together and see what we can get into and see if we can make some money without David present. I will have his fur with me. We're going to split stuff and see how we do. And then the Pumpkin Festival in Alert's coming up. And then I don't know if he's going to go to the Little Red Apple Orchard in Overton County this year or not. It depends on the weather. And me and Regina have a trip scheduled in October. It just kind of depends on how we do. Yeah, I went ahead and shocked it because I knew what the rain was going to do to my pool. I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and shock, because I hadn't shocked it in a long time. I just been getting it, cleaning it, keeping it really clean. And I just been leaving a chlorine float in it. It's been doing really well. And then I saw the radar and I was like, oh no, I'm shocking my pool. I'm trying to stay crafty as I have the energy. And I still need necessary naps, but I'm doing a lot better. And I don't have one. I took it off before this, but I do have my handy dandy watch, I've fallen and I can't get up button. My sciatica was really bad last week. It is healing and I feel a lot better. So I'm trying to get stuff done. But in the last 2.5, 3 days, I have woven 3 dream catchers. So, but I have to admit, this one is my favorite, the Gray Fox with the crystals, the bobcat jaw, the dried flowers, and the ribbons. And I'm going to put some of those, that organza, that lighter colored peachy pink organza on him to kind of bring out the red in his fur. So, but that's where we are. That was my Temu haul. And y'all, I rarely ever do like over a $20. I try to do a $20 order because it gives me points on my games. So I rarely ever do more than a $20 order. So that was about a $22 order. And then that box with the, I look silly with these buns in, that box with the 4-layer, that was free from all of my refunds. When the prices change, if I see a price go down, I go, hey, that price went down, give me a refund. And they give me the difference. And out of all the difference and all the craft and stuff, items and stuff that I've bought, I got that completely free. And I've won farmland, and I've won a whirligig and a peacock statue. The peacock statue should be in soon. They have got warehouses all over the U.S. and all over China. So if you get it and it comes from a U.S. warehouse, it gets to you really cheap. If it comes from overseas, it gets to you really slow. So you never know if it's going to be 3 days or 13. But I'm okay with that because I live in the boondocks. So I'm patient, if nothing else. But I enjoy the craft prices and the fabric prices. If you're looking for jelly rolls, go to Temu. They're the same things that they have at Walmart, better prices. If you're looking for fat quarters, go to Temu. Same things as Walmart, better prices. Don't go to Hobby Lobby anymore. Yeah, fatigue is I've had a rough weekend. We had Haley and her husband in all weekend visiting, and Reginald, my grand dog, I'm sure y'all saw the video of Reggie. And we have had a wild weekend. And I went into just a small flare last week when my sciatica came in, but that was it. I didn't go to a big flare, so I'm not going to fuss. And it was my sciatica. And I walked around all week like a 90-year-old with her hand on her hind end going, oh, my sciatica. And so that made me feel better. And I just had to do the stretches and work through it, but I got through it. So, you know, I have to have blood drawn like every 13 days. It's not been nice. It's not pleasant. We're fixing to be able to put it like every 26 days, which will be much nicer for me. So, but that's where I am, y'all. I'm in the middle of a super big crafting spiel because it's that time of year for me. And I finally picked one sunflower and brought it in the house. I left all the others for the birds. And they're starting to go to seed, so I'm going to try to catch some of the seed before the birds absolutely eat them up. I know, Leva Cats, you asked me for some seeds. Text me and remind me what all you wanted, and I'll get a care package out to you in the next few weeks. What do I take for fatigue? I take a vitamin B12 complex that my doctor gives me. I don't drink caffeine anymore. I haven't drank caffeine in about a month. And now it tastes like syrup. I can't drink it. So I drink mostly water, Propel, and liquid IV. So I do take a calcium and magnesium supplement, but I take prenatal vitamins. And if I get like really, really achy, hurt, or swell, then I literally, y'all, I know this sounds horrible, but I'll take a little maxi pad or a panty liner and put castor oil in it and stick it to my leg, and then wrap around the backside and just let the castor oil kind of draw out the swelling and stuff. And I'll take Epsom salt baths. Bentonite clay is really good for swelling. Don't put it down your pops in large quantities. Be careful with that. But baking soda, and I know people say don't eat. You know, the doctors are like, don't eat baking soda. You eat baking soda when you eat food. You bake with it, Dilberts, and you bake with baking soda, baking powder, salt, all these things that they say you shouldn't have. Especially, you know, they're on a salt tangent now. But a little pinch of baking soda, a little pinch of sea salt in my morning water. And I've learned to lose a lot of that water weight, but my body is still well hydrated, but the water weight's losing. My big waspish thing is finally going away. It's just left me with like the world's biggest wasper hickey, I guess is what we'll call that. He was aiming for me, buddy. Yeah, but I put baking soda in my baths, and then I sprinkle it in my first mix of water I make in the morning. Well, thank you, Lily. I look atrocious right now because I put in space buns to be absolutely hilarious, but and I put a bat hair bow in. But I've just been cleaning and crafting all day and wanted to share. I was really hoping those stupid earrings would come in because I wanted to show those to Mom because I thought I was going to surprise her. But apparently, Temu doesn't want my mother surprised. But don't worry, I will get them here. Look, now I'm going to take my hair down. And when I get them here, I will bring them down. And when I bring them down, I'll probably stay for a while and sit under the light and visit for a little bit. Okay, don't wrap your hair just plumb around those unless you're tough-headed as I am, because they don't like to come out. I've got way too much hair, y'all. I've got enough hair for 3 people. I had enough hair for 5 people until I had my hysterectomy, and then it thinned, and now I have enough hair for 3 people. And they told me when I started taking Monjaro that it would make my hair fall out. And I said, that's okay. I've got enough hair for 3 people. They didn't believe me until they said, why don't you use those little wire, those little elastic bands? And I said, honey, I break those. I will just be sitting in the vehicle going down somewhere with my husband, and my hair will go snap. And he'll go, elastic band? And I'm like, yep. He's like, why do you keep buying those? I said, well, because sometimes I do braid my hair. And I do need them. I do use them. But for the most part, I have to have very secure hair bows because I've got way too much hair. I've got way too much hair. So this is what it looks like when I craft, because if I don't put something to hold it up, I will end up glued to something by the end of the night. So, okay, that's where we are. So spread the word. We have wine bottle gnome lamps this year with real fur beards and mustaches. We have bottles of booze. We have scarecrows. We will be at the pumpkin festival. David will. I will, health allowing. And if you have nothing better to do on the 23rd of September, come to the historical town square thing up in Jamestown, Tennessee. I think they're going to cut half the square off. It's the first bicentennial celebration. They're going to start doing this every year, but they're starting it on the bicentennial as a big shindig. And they begged David, and finally I just said, I'll go alone since it's, so close to the house. So I'm going to try it by myself with the girls. So it's going to be a girls' day out. So if y'all are close and want to come see that, come see that. And other than that, as I craft, I will be doing lives, and I will be putting up photos. Some of these crafts I'm doing are very intricate, especially the decoupage. Y'all don't want to hear me when I decoupage because I say words people ought not hear. Decoupage. I love to decoupage, but it's very traumatic. It's a traumatizing experience. So I will post pictures of those. But as I'm finishing up some of my dream catchers and some of my wine bottle gnomes and some of my Halloween stuff, I will be doing lives to get you all up to speed on that. So that's all I'm going to show you tonight. I got a free dress from Temu. That was nice of them. That was at least $10, $15. I mean, I'm a fat girl, so that was at least $10, $15 on sale. And I had enough refund rebates from price adjustments that I had enough left over to buy a shelf unit for my bathroom. Nothing special, but enough to hold my towels and my makeup and to not take over my tiny, tiny bathroom. So, Mom, if you want that plant stand, you can totally have that plant stand. I've got it figured out. So, everybody say goodbye, Miss Donna, to my mother who hung out with us tonight. And I will get the sewing machine earrings. They are adorable. We will have a matching set, and I'm watching for a lot of sewing themed items that I can look at and maybe buy and then reimagine or re-engineer and make my own or do a different craft with. But I'm going to finish 3 things or 2 things tonight, possibly 3. But this one is the one I'm most excited about because I've never done an iron-on onto one of my dream catchers and then decorated it. I don't know what it's going to look like when it ends up, but I've got a lot of trail riders and a lot of the rich, the kind of ritzy people at True West that like the old stuff, but they want it girlified or kind of brought into the new age. So I'm trying to meet everybody in the middle. We'll see how they do. I still have to make some stuff authentic because wherever we go, the tribes will try to find us to buy authentic rattles and ceremonial sticks and some dream catchers and stuff. So I still have to make some super authentic. So with sinew and bone and everything's authentic. So I still have to make some authentic, and I still have some of those. That's not a big deal. But I'm trying to girlyfy because I've been getting a lot of emphasis on my girlyfy stuff. So bye, Mom. Thanks for joining in. It's a new way to bond, isn't it? I'll get the earrings. And enjoy your visit in the morning. And I'll see you. Oh gosh, tomorrow's Wednesday. I might try to pop down. I might try to pop down Friday. I can talk David into leaving me the Jeep Friday. All right, bye. I'll see you later in the week. Well, y'all, we had a weekend. I saw her Sunday. We had a big dinner. My Aunt Angie was in. We just had a huge dinner, had a huge family dinner because Haley and her husband were in for Labor Day. And we hadn't seen them for a year or more. Seems like she might have come in just real quick once. But it had been a while. And of course she's working, got married in March and she's working and life established in Southern Georgia. So it's, I don't expect him to drop everything and come see me, but she did. And she came up to surprise everybody because I found out this weekend that I'm going to be the grandmother of twins. So Haley and her husband are currently expecting twins. And so I would ask everyone just pray that things go well and that the babies stay healthy and that everybody is just well taken care of and watched over by the Lord because she's a bean pole. So I went ahead and bought her a belly support band and a pregnancy pillow. So we're just, and so I had to keep it quiet until she got up here to tell family. And so I'm not going to be sharing them or the kids or anything on the internet. I'm the only really extrovert in my family. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I soaked it all up. Nobody else got any. I don't know why. But everybody else is pretty low key. So, but I can tell you all now. So, she is expecting twins. We knew she was expecting, and she had an ultrasound right before she hit the road to come up to us. They went to her ultrasound and found out it was twins. So they drove to Tennessee, kind of in shock. And we kind of composted it over the weekend. And I can't post them, but I could put, my father had an awesome reaction. I might be able to put a snippet of that, but I'm trying to keep the kids private and give them this time on their own. But my father's reaction was amazing because he's been wanting more grandkids. And so he was 70, and he has had heart surgery. But I'm pretty sure that 3 zip codes heard him scream in delight. So he jumped right out of his chair and scooped her up and hugged her. And I'm pretty sure that 3 surrounding counties heard my father's happiness Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon. So it was pretty funny to see. It's nice to see, and I knew I'd been on a health kick for a couple years for a reason because my grandbabies have been coming into the world. And so I was like, okay, listen, Elizabeth, you've got to hit this RSD head on. You've got to fight this neuromuscular disorder. You've got to do better. You've got to lose more weight. You've got to get your body working better. And so I've been on this huge health journey. Boy, am I glad now. I'm so glad now because she is rather far away from me, and I do need to be able to have the strength and ability to get up and go if she needs me. And I feel that I'm almost there. And so I'm very happy that I have been prodded. And it was just almost kind of like, you hear that little voice in the back of your head, you need to really work on yourself. And so I started, and well, here come all the grandkids. So I guess that's probably why I needed to be working on myself. So things are things are still early, but if everybody would just pray for her, bless her, she's been really sick. She's tiny and she's making room for 2 growing babies. So just keep her in your prayers. And but I couldn't say anything until after all the great grandparents were surprised this weekend. So, but there will be no videos of them or the babies or anything like that. They're going to be really private. But I can let you know how things are going and stuff like that. So she doesn't care for that. Of course, now anytime Reggie's up here, y'all are going to get a Reggie video because Reggie's gorgeous. Reginald is my most adorable grand doggy. And he's my most adorable grandpup. And he's very well behaved and he's very sweet natured. And I've had a really hard time with my quiet house because all weekend I had 2 dogs, almost the same size. And I really miss Reggie because they got along. Reggie and Oscar got along just great, just famously. And so my house has been super quiet today. And so I've crafted and had the radio on, just trying to combat the silence. Oh, and let me tell you something my mother did. She probably already left the chat. Let me tell you something my mother. She always thinks of others. And of course, we lost Granny. We lost Granny a couple months ago. And we were more prepared for Granny because Mom had been taking care of her at home in hospice for a while. We had gotten her out of the nursing home and Mom was taking care of her. So we were watching her body slow down. It wasn't a surprise, but you still mourn the loss of people you love. But at the same time, she'd been bedbound for so long. I was happy to see her be free of that bed and go on. Go on home. She'd been away from her husband. He passed away when I was 10 months old from cancer, so she hadn't seen him in almost 45 years. And it was like they're together now. She's better. She's not stuck in this bed anymore. And I'm cool with that. And so when I was down there Sunday, Mom has been graciously bequeathing small little treasures that are just little whatnots, little treasures that our family loves. So like my brother got my papa's Granny's husband's shotgun and some stuff, and I wanted a train picture because my papa was an engineer, and I've left it with Mom for now because I'm like, I hate to just take everything away from y'all at once. So I was like, I'll get it later, don't worry about it. But she pulled me into her quilt closet a Sunday, and Granny, anytime that she was in the hospital bed at home or in the nursing home, she always had a quilt on her, but she preferred a quilt that had a duck print, a specific duck print. And she was still a seamstress, even when she was, dementia and Alzheimer's ridden, she was still a seamstress at heart. And her finger would still follow the fabric and meet the corners and see if the corners were put together correctly. And she would feel. And if she felt the corner that was not just perfectly put together, she'd tap it. And we'd be like, okay, Granny, you found one. And she didn't find many because Mom's a very good seamstress. But that quilt was always with Granny for the nursing home, for when she was in hospice with Mom. And then when Mom had to have her surgery and we had to put her back into the hospice care down the mountain, they were very good. They took such good care of her. I mean, we just can't thank them enough for how great they were to her. That blanket went with her, and she passed away in her sleep, which is what else can you ask for? Just to peacefully drift off. Go to sleep, go into a dream, wake up in heaven. And that would be just hello, I'm there for that, y'all. But I would probably trip over something and make the newspaper. That's just me. But that quilt was with her through everything, and she passed away in her sleep. And so when they wrapped her up, when they picked her up to take her up to the funeral home that's handled all of her family, they're basically family themselves at this point to us. They were all really close. They wrapped her carefully with that because that was her favorite quilt. And the funeral home returned it to Mom. And I was surprised when Mom took me into her quilt closet and took it out where she had laundered it and sealed it. She's got bags and bags of quilts. My mother's a quiltaholic. And she goes, I want you to have this. And then she's like, if you want it. And I think she thought it would freak me out and that it had been transported with Granny. But I was like, no, Mom, I would have crawled in the back of the vehicle with her and laid with her going, that didn't bother me at all. I would have, it didn't bother me at all. It makes it more precious to me. So she gave that to me. So I'm going to have a new quilt. So I've got to reevaluate my quilts. These are Haley's that she's supposed to be taking home every time she comes, but she forgets. So when I get Haley's cleared off, I will have plenty of room. But I'm going to have another. So that's my great grandma Schultz cathedral window. And that's one that Mom made me for a Christmas present a few years ago. And then I've got Mom's first really look at me, look what I can do quilt. Because she's always quilted, but then she started doing really intricate patterns. I've got the first intricate pattern one she ever did. And now I've got this one that she made for Granny that stayed with Granny for the last several years of her life. And I told her, I said, you can give it to me, but I want you to know, I said, I'm not just going to hang it up. I'm going to use it, because if I ever need comfort or I want to think of her, I'm going to take it out. I'm going to use it. And she's like, okay, that's fine. I was like, well, I just wanted you to know it's not going to be just hung up. It's going to be used. I still have like two of my grandmother's. She would go and buy the best dish rags. I don't know where she got them, but they lasted forever. And she was the only person I ever saw that had these. I don't know where she got them. And when my aunts were divvying stuff up, I was like, I want the dish rags. And they looked at me like I was crazy. But I still have two that I keep tucked in the back drawer. When I'm having a really, really bad day and I'm cleaning my kitchen, I will get Grandma's dish rags out and use them and think of Grandma. And so now I have a quilt. When I'm having a bad day, I can get my quilt out and think of Granny. I have another quilt that my Nanny Clara, not my nanny, but I called her my Nanny Clara, she made me. And it needs to be patched really, really bad because it has been loved well. So these are my comfort things. So I guess in Appalachia, that's what we do. We pass along the things that bring us comfort. And so that's what I got Sunday. And I was just amazed. And I asked her 3 times, are you sure you don't want this? Are you sure you don't want this? But I got it, and it's with me, and it's going to be a cherished treasure. My mother's entire basement is a quilt shop. She's got her own quilting machine. She's got embroidery machines. I keep meaning, I've got a serger and 2 sewing machines up here that are actually hers that I need to bring back down the mountain to her. But she's got a whole sewing industrial setup in her basement. So it's all, she's just a quilter. And the whole time that after her new knee replacement, she was sitting in her chair. She'd be doing her physical therapy exercises, watching the quilting YouTube channels, going, I can do that, and trying to get able to go down those stairs into the basement. And she went down those stairs Sunday into the basement, and she went better than me, by golly. Of course, my sciatica has been acting up. But she went down the stairs much better than I did. And so good, in fact, that I said, I'm going out the basement and going around to my Jeep instead of going back up the stairs. And I chickened out and didn't go back up the stairs. I went out the basement and around the slant to my Jeep. So my mother was walking that much better than me. So, well, Denise, it's so nice to see you pop in. Yes, I know you're a quiltaholic. That was precious. I thought that was precious. That touched my heart. I'm glad you popped in because I was fixing a message and check on you today and do your daily annoyance. I've been annoying Denise every day, checking on her. I do some by hand, and I hand tack them. And I don't mind it if I have the time, but most of the time I just do the tops. And I have a lady that lives about 3 houses up the road, and she's also got a big, huge quilting machine. And if I don't send them to Mom, I just send them to Margie, and Margie does them for me at a really good price. And but I think there's nothing more charming than a hand-tacked homemade quilt. Except the binding. Bindings are my downfall. They're my nemesis. And I know it's so easy. It's just a fold. It's just a fold and a pinch, and the corners are easy. But I don't know what it is about something in here that bindings. You don't want to be around me when I'm putting a binding on anything. It's not good. Never an annoyance from you. I told David, I said, I've been bugging Denise every day to check on her. I see. I hate the bindings too. They make me so mad. That's the only part that I don't like. But I'm not like a pattern quilter. I don't see a pattern. I want to reproduce a pattern. I like to get colors and textures and see what they become. And so I'm rather abstract, but my mother is a dead-on pattern quilter. Like, she doesn't deviate from the pattern. So when we quilt together, we annoy the far out of each other because she's following the lines, and I'm like, how about if you just deviate and try this? And she, no. And then she wants me to follow it, and I'm like, no, I have to do this. So we rarely ever quilt together, but I will go and like invade her stash. Like, I literally got in her basement. She goes, do you need some ribbon? Christmas is coming up. And she's going, I've got a bunch of ribbon. And I just opened my pocketbook, and she had so much that I actually had to get a little Tupperware handle thing that she had so that she could fill it so I could take ribbon. So I thieved while I was there, as I do often. Y'all saw the saw that I took off the back porch. She let me have it, but I took it off the back porch because she had painted it like 20 years ago, and it was just going to rust on the back porch. And I was like, nope. And so I've got it here, and I'm going to clean it just a little bit and hit some highlights that have kind of faded, and then I'm going to seal the snot out of it so that it lasts for a long, long time so that it can be passed down. So my mom was a very creative person too. She used to make the little dolls out of the little flesh tone stretchy stuff where you had to sew all the fingers and all the facial features. She even gave them little tiny butt cracks. Separate toes, little tiny butt cracks, belly buttons. And her dolls, her and Granny's dolls were, I mean, people would come looking for them. They loved them. And my granny made the most beautiful Barbie clothes by hand and the most ginormous, like, ball gown wedding sets. Like, they were like $30 back in the 80s and 90s for a ball gown for a Barbie that my granny would make. And people would pay it gladly because they were so gorgeous. And so they looked like Scarlett O'Hara had come to Barbie. I've got one fly in my house that's going to bother me. But yeah, I like the whatnots and the stuff that you don't like, you don't expect to get passed down, but gets passed down. Let me show you something that I found that was left behind that nobody else wanted out of Granny's. I've got one fly in here, so drop your nets. Let me show you. And it looks like something to me, but I'm going to ask you all may be smarter than me. Let me grab them. They're right over here. Oh, been sitting down too long. I'm just going to show you three. I got 5 things, but I'm just going to show you 3 of them. He's even still, this is a little bank. It's a little coin bank. There's this little slot. This was my mother's. He's even got the little rubber stopper in him. I just need to pull it out and replug him because it's been pushed up in him. He's got a little chip right there, but you know something? He was well loved. This was my mother's. He's a coin bank. I wanted that. I've seen this in my granny's house since I was tiny. And I didn't know the story behind him. Now I do. I've got him. I washed him a little bit, cleaned him. And then I saw these 2 little guys. Well, I guess one guy and one girl. Y'all tell me what you think of when you see these. What do these remind you of? What do they put you in mind of? If you watch The Crazy Lamp Lady, you should know. And I'm going to have to do some research. I'm going to have to do some research because they obviously go together. He's got a shell or something up to his ear, and she's got a bird on her arm, and he's got a puppy dog, and she's got a little tiny puppy dog. So what do they remind you of? German children, yeah. They kind of put me in the mind of Hummels. I don't know, but I know they're older than me, so I'm going to look them up because I've looked at them since I was tiny, and I've always wondered what they were. So I thought, well, I want those because I've stared at those. I would stand in the hallway and look at the little glass-covered shelving unit where they were and be like, what are those? What are they doing? And I was like, she got a bird and a dog and apparently dancing. I would just be entranced by these things. And I thought he looked kind of Scottish, but that could just be me. Yeah, they remind me of Hummels. But I don't know. I don't know how you identify Hummels. So I was just going to Google lens the sucker and see what they come back. But I have to say, this is the most precious one because it was my mama's coin bank. And you see, it's still got the rubber plug in there. It's just in there. I'm going to have to find a way to get it out. Oh, I got it out. Now I got to find a way to put it back in. Get in there. There, it's in. There, he's got his rubber stopper back in. I just thought these were so cute. She obviously got this as a school, something for school. So, but I like stuff like that has a story to them. And you get to learn stuff about people. And then I also got, I'll show you one more thing I got. We've had a bunch of old pictures, but we all had copies made. This is my favorite. This is my granny with my mom, who refused to look at the camera, and my two uncles. Isn't my granny gorgeous? Isn't she beautiful? I mean, I got none of that. I did get the cheeks, but they don't shine because I got so much fat on me. But my daughter has the same shape face shape. I can talk. But isn't she beautiful? And my mother is, of course, not looking at the camera. I need to find some pictures of my great grandma Stevens, which was Granny's mama, and show you all, because you can really see the high cheekbones and a lot of the native blood in there too. So, and we also got a picture of my papa and a bobcat he killed. It was one of the biggest bobcats in the county ever been killed, and a picture of my papa and his youngest son, Dwayne, going squirrel hunting with a bunch of squirrels with their squirrel dog, Polly. His name was Napoleon, but they called him Polly, had gotten. And Polly lived until I was like 9 or 10. So I didn't really get to know my grandpa, my papa, but I got to know Polly. And I think through knowing Polly and how well that dog was trained and how well that dog behaved, I got an idea of who my papa was, because that dog was loyal, fiercely loyal. And it takes a good man to really rear a good dog like that, to train them and raise them and have a good solid dog like that. So I think I learned a lot about my papa from his dog Polly. And Napoleon, when he got sick, we were trying to load him in the back of the car to take him to the vet. He was so old that we were just trying, and he passed away as we were trying to load him in the car, take him to the vet. It was so sad, because he was like the last link that we kids had to papa, because we were so young when he passed. But you know, Granny was without him for almost 45 years. So, you know, but look at that. Isn't she gorgeous? And then I know I've shared my mother's senior class picture with you all. It's not fair. It's not fair. My mother looked like a supermodel. Of course, I don't always look like this. I can be cute, but now the women in my family on my mom's side were elegant. There's nothing elegant about me. I try. There's just nothing elegant about me. Oh, and for the people following the Monjaro update, I need to do a separate, but since you're here, I'll tell you. I am down. As of a week and a half ago, I was at like 15 pounds down. That was the first month on the 2.5. They really didn't expect me to lose any money. I lost money. They didn't expect me to lose any weight on the 2.5, but I did. So they upped me to 5 a week ago last Sunday. I haven't really had any problems. And the cut's getting deeper, y'all. You see it? My muscles are coming back and the fat's kind of falling off, and you can see the cut a little bit better. So if I can just start digging out these muscles that I had, and I was a big old honking Amazon, you know, and I know I'll never be that again, and I don't need these muscles because that's what's causing a lot of issues with my neuromuscular disorder. And I will lose some of them in this weight loss journey. But that's one way that I can see how much fluid and fat is coming off of me this quickly. And right through here, if y'all notice, normally I had this big goobly gook that stood down here. I don't have that anymore, if you all have noticed. So, and my bracelets go way down here onto my wrists now. And I'm like, what happened there? So I'm losing it in the weirdest places. And I'm like, hey, Lord, what about my belly? Can we work on my belly? But I am losing, and I do feel a lot better. The only bad thing is where I'm losing fluid and it's shifting how I sleep and how my joints and stuff are kind of realigning because I have a lot of Ehlers-Danlos issues as well. So I've got loosey-goosey joints. It's lovely. As I sleep, I have a lot of pain as my body is reconfiguring. And so I've just kind of got it in my head that I'm just going to have to deal with the pain for the next 10 months or so as I'm on this medicine, losing this weight until I get to where I'm going to be and my body learns that size, because I'm losing weight so rapidly that it's not getting used to how I'm, the new pressure points and how to lay and stuff. So I'm just going to be uncomfortable, and sleep is not going to be the best until I get to where I'm going to be staying and get used to that weight. But a lot of it's just been for me has been timing my meals, keeping my blood sugar stable. And I don't drink soda anymore. I cannot stand it. I crave water. And I eat quick oats for breakfast or a little protein shake. And then I'll have a very small, whatever David's eating for lunch, I'll have a very small helping of it, whatever, until I get full, and then I stop. If I have a snack, I normally have like flavored almond butter on a 0-carb tortilla, which if some of the flavored almond butter is really good. It's really good for your gut as well. Or I'll have one of those yogurt things where you dip the stuff into the other, and it's Greek yogurt. I'll have one of those. I have real fruit juice popsicles. I don't have anything with added sugar. So when I eat the pineapple popsicles, I make lots of faces because, whoo, them things are sour, but I love them. They're good. And I've just changed the way I eat. Sunday, I went down to Mom and Dad's and I had a few potatoes, which is like the most carbs I'd had in a long, long, long time. But my Aunt Angie made them, and you have to eat Aunt Angie's potatoes. Oh my God. Looking slim. Thank you, Gypsy. I'm still fat, don't worry. But I'm losing a lot of the puffy. But Aunt Angie cooked, and you can't not eat Aunt Angie's cooking. So I had a few potatoes, a few of Dad's baked beans, just a couple spoonfuls, and I had like a half a crescent roll because I gave the other half to my husband. And I felt like I'd had Thanksgiving dinner, and I didn't eat the rest of the day. I was done. I think I went to bed that night, and I drank a meal replacement shake about an hour before I went to bed because there's no way I was chewing and eating anything. I was so full. So I've not had any problems, not had my cluster headaches have reduced since I've gotten my sugar stabilized, which I wasn't having a lot of sugar problems, but I was eating only once a day or so. And so my sugar would bottom out and come back up, and it just wasn't healthy. It was causing my body to hang on to a lot of stuff. So this has got my fluid and my sugar and a lot of my vitamins and minerals stabilized in my body, and I'm doing a lot better. So I'm getting there. I still, yes, my sciatica, and I still went into a little mini flare, but that was the first mini flare I'd had in 8 weeks. And normally every 3 to 5 weeks, I have a massive flare. So you all that have watched me for the last couple of years know when the flares come, I disappear. Well, my sciatica bothered me a lot last week, and I had to clean house for company and do a lot of stuff, get ready for company. So I wasn't on a lot last week, but I was still doing. I even wallpapered some of my hallway last week, y'all. I wallpapered. Have you ever heard me talk about anything like that? I wallpapered. And just because I wanted to put birch tree wallpaper all down my hallway. I'd originally bought it for the bathroom, and then my husband said, I'm going to feel like I'm taking a dump in the woods. And I thought about that for a minute, and I thought, yep, because we do have bears everywhere else in the bathroom. And then if we put birch trees on the walls, you're really going to wonder if a bear takes a crap in the woods. Yeah, okay. So I thought maybe that's not the best place for it. So I started putting it in the hallway. It looks really good. So I'm going to go on down the hallway. And I'm even thinking that maybe in a few more pounds, if I get me a really good beanbag, I can lay on the floor and put down the wood floor myself and just scooch around on the beanbag and put my floor down. Now, I might need a winch to pull me up at the end of the day. But I think if I get down there, I could put that floor together because you score it and it cracks. You only need about 3 tools. And if I've got that carpet and the padding pulled up and pitched out the window and that boy come haul it off, I could get that done on my own. As long as, I'd have to yell at Kim to help me shove the furniture back over as I move from one side of the room to the other. Or I could just make David do that and do half of one day and half of the other day. But it's easy enough to do the lock together floating floor. I can do it myself if I can get down and up and down and up. That's been the problem. Now I think if I lay sideways on a little bean bag, or even like a foam pillow or something, that I could probably scooch around and get that floor put down. Getting everything ripped up and torn up and the furniture scuttled around to be the thing. But I've got lots of stuff I want to do. I've been making improvements because I've had more friends come and visit and stay in that room. And it's like, my daughter was a purple child and she painted it purple. And oh my God, I want that purple to go away. And so bad. And I love her dresser. It's a really old dresser. I want to chalk paint it, and then I want to refinish it with a decoupage top or an IOD decal top. And I want to make the room kind of like a chic, as chic as you can do in my house on a budget, a chic, like guest room in like a hunting lodge bunkhouse. That's kind of the vibe I'm going for. I'm not going for anything super elegant. I want it to fit the house, which is obviously taxidermy and candle shop collide. But I want it to be nicer than it is now and not purple. The purple's driving me nuts. I'm getting there. Yeah, now I didn't have goals for 3 years. I didn't have goals because I didn't have the energy to have goals. So now I'm like, I want to do that, and I can do that. And for me, never having to ask help for the majority of my younger years because I was so stout, and now to be in a place to where I had to ask for help perpetually for, and now I'm getting back to where I only have to ask for help for bigger things. It's a little bit of freedom. It's a little bit nice. And now I have that little thing I wear, and if I fall or I hurt myself, I can push it, and I'm immediately to my call center and they check on me. So I feel a little bit more brave because now I can push a button and have people know where I am. So I'm getting a little bit more brave. I'm doing walks around the house in the evening when David's not here with Oedipo, Oscar, and checking the mail and walking and trying to gather seeds in the evening and, cleaning the pool, not getting in it, but cleaning it from the outside in the evening. So life is changing slowly. Now, there are still days where my body goes, no, heifer, we ain't doing that. And I obey it and I listen to it. But for the most part, I love this bat. For the most part, life's getting back to normal. Let me put him right in the top. I'm sorry, but I just thought this little bat was too cute. So when I have my hair back in a little French twist, I can have a little bat in my hair. I just thought he was cute, and you can see bat wings from the back. And wouldn't you know, the first time I win anything on Temu, I won Kim a coffin-shaped rug. And Temu, being sweet like they are, sent a coffin-shaped ring with it. And then I said, well, she loves to decorate for Halloween, which is why I got that. Then I said, well, she can't have a Halloween coffin-shaped rug and a coffin ring without having a skull decanter. So I got her a skull decanter, and I said, happy early Christmas. And just shoved it to her with 24 ear corn that I put up and sent her home that night. So that was the first thing I won. And then I finally won my big old peacock yard statue that I wanted in my whirly gig. I've been wanting a whirly gig ever since I've saved up money and bought my mother a whirly gig for Mother's Day. I've been wanting a whirly gig for myself. I got it. It's smaller than I thought it was going to be. Isn't that a complex we all have in many ways? But it's smaller than I thought it was going to be. But it's beautiful and it's gorgeous, and I'll take a video of it. The next day it's fit to be out and video. And I even helped mow the yard yesterday. Of course, I'm just sitting on a ride mower. I couldn't muscularly move the steering wheel a few years ago without going into flare, though. So I am in a different world. Monjaro has been a lifesaver to me. I'm just ecstatic, and I don't want to go above the 5 milligram because I feel like I'm putting in more of the work than the medicine is, which is how I'm going to keep this off longer. But the medicine is it's like the chicken wire that gives me the little boundary that I need. So it's not like a steel wall that's keeping me doing this right. It's just a little reminder. And I want to do this mostly on my own so that I do it. Oh, Gimpy Gumpy's fine. He's lost his spots. This is the baby deer that had a injured right front leg or shoulder. No swelling, wasn't a snake bite. I guess he probably just sprained it. His mom was here for the first couple of days. Then mom disappeared. Mom has not been back now in like 6 weeks or so. We tried to get him into a wildlife refuge, but due to people getting an extra cutting of hay due to the weather we had this summer, the wildlife places filled up super quick. So the game warden, Andrew, said, can y'all just kind of keep them wild, watch them, help them grow a little bit without getting them used to humans. So what my husband did was throw out a mineral lick, which they find next to barns and pastures all the time. So it's nothing new. And every once in a while, he'll throw out a handful of like anything I've cut up for dinner, cabbage, cucumbers. He ate my second garden. We just let him eat it. He needed it more than we did. And he's growing like a weed. He's actually tall enough to where even though the weeds are headed out for the fall, we can just barely see him walk through now. He's not made any effort to leave. Matter of fact, he's getting brave and wants to come eat by the pool, and then he'll run back and hide when he sees us. But we've kind of scared him back over to stay over by the barn. And he's doing good, but the rut should change the movement here in the next 3 to 4 weeks. The deer movement should change. They will be coming much closer to our house, and many, many more of them will be coming by our house. So we're hoping that he will follow off some of them and just go back to being wild. He still hides from us, but he just thinks that when he takes a break and sleeps, that apparently manna falls from heaven above, and he wakes up and finds cucumbers and cabbage and tomatoes and maybe a little bit of corn and a mineral lick. He just thinks they miraculously appear. But he's growing and he's doing good. He's just still here. So I'm hoping that he follows off a few deer and he gets situated somewhere safely before archery season. So that's my hope. So, I mean, he can stay there for archery. So he can stay there all winter as far as I'm concerned, as long as he stays wild and hides from us. But I really want him to find another family group and move on. But he's still here. He hides. He sees us a lot more than we see him now, which tells us we're doing good. He's wild. But he is growing. He's losing his spots, and he looks rather mature, which is sad. Because he was so tiny the first time I saw him. I didn't think he was going to make it, but he has. He ate my entire second garden, which is probably why he made it so well. But things are going good around here. Just it's been a very lively summer, and looks like next summer is going to be a very lively summer too. And we're just all hanging in there and trying to get along and take each day as it comes, and enjoy blessings and surprises. So that's where we are. Okay, so I've talked way longer than I thought I would, but thank you for joining me. So the Temu haul was at the first, and the craft stuff was at the first, and then we had a little chit chat and had to chew the fat for a while. So if you don't feel like watching all of it, that's fine. If you made it here, thank you. You're a long hauler. I love yous to death. And now that I'm feeling better and my sciatica is calming down, I will get back to doing some rambles and some smaller videos for you to enjoy, to kind of see the progress of the flowers as they turn to seed and how I collect the seed before the birds get them, hopefully. And Leba Cats, make sure that you message me for the seed that you wanted, and I'll get you some seed. Football highlights. Howdy. I know, Denise, that definitely has put a little bit of pep in my step. Absolutely has. It's put a little bit of pep in my step. So that's been one of those. That was something I was going to share with you. Hopefully, to kind of put a little pep in your step too. So, but everybody, just keep her in your prayers that she stays healthy and is able to hold stuff down the next few. She's been pretty sick the last few weeks, but she's tiny. That's why. But we're all gonna prepare for twins. So it's going to be an interesting next year and a half in our world. Absolutely. So, okay. Appreciate you hanging on with me. If I find out something about these, I will let you know in a community post. And as I finish the craft projects, I will put them in the community post. There's going to be a lot going on over the next 2 weeks. I've got a lot of crafting to do. And then next week, probably earlier portion of the week, I'm going to be traveling just a little bit. And so I'm going to try to do what I can do. If you message me, email me, or if you're lucky enough to have my number, text me, because my Yahoo, that's how old I am, y'all. Oh my God, I just aged myself. My Facebook Messenger is not doing well. It's not loading good. I don't know what's wrong with it, but I'm going to have to get in and finagle my phone or take it up to that phone place and have a little techie nerd look at it. But it's having some problems. So, oh yeah, the names will be a treat. The names will be... The gender reveal will be fun. I'm sure Tannerite will be involved in that in some way, shape, or form, knowing my redneck family and him. My son-in-law is a sweetheart. I love him to death. There will be Tannerite involved in the gender reveal. I can just automatically tell you that. We are bumpkins, so be prepared for that. But mostly their life is going to remain their life, but I can kind of tell you what's going on. But as far as faces and stuff like that, we're gonna let them have the babies to themselves and just do updates. But I am going to go visit next month and then see how that goes. And then my physical therapist has already been made aware that we're amping up the game because we're pushing up for me to be able to be mobile. You know, I can't do many trips, but I need to be able to get there in the event that, you know, she needs me. And so I need to amp up my resistance training and my energy training, just so, you know, middle of the night, whenever I'm ready to roll, and I can do it. So, and I'm getting there. You know, it'll wear me out, but I'm getting there, and then I can get there and rest, and then I can stay for a couple, 3 weeks and be helpful. I won't just be doing back and forth trips. I will have to go down and stay for a few weeks at a time, and then come back, because I won't be able to do back and forth trips with my body. But that's okay, because when I go, I want to stay and visit, you know, be able to visit long enough to make it count. So, and I'm sure that Pop will be traveling with me. That's what we call Dave. I'm sure that Pop will be traveling with me quite a bit too. He'll be using his vacation time for he's going to be saving up a lot of it for that reason alone. So, but just keep our daughter in your prayers. Keep our son-in-law in your prayers. Bless his heart. The shock on their face was just... And you can't schedule babies, and you can't say I'm just going to have one, or it's just whatever the good Lord gives you. And he won't give you any more than you can't handle. And apparently he thinks these two can bench press a Buick. So we're fixing to see what they're capable of. But I think they have a good, solid relationship and a good home together. So I think they're prepared to be wonderful parents. So I'm excited to see how they handle life that comes at them. So I'm excited. So, all right, now I've got to finish crafting and do some things, and then I'm going to crash early tonight because I've had a weekend and a day, and I've got a bunch of crap to do this week. But little videos will be coming for you all week, little community posts. And if I have a craft I can do while I'm on live, we'll try to do that Thursday. Try to do that Thursday night if possible. Everything else will be pre-recorded or community posts. So keep an eye on the community page and come back often and check and see if I've just shared a little, I call them giblets of life. You know, the stuff you make gravy out of, the small things you make gravy out of. Come back to see if I've shared any giblets with you and check in with me. And when we get through these few vendor sales that they've begged David to come through, to go to, maybe life will slow down a little bit. Now listen, Black Alien, it's not nice to come say nasty things about yourself. You should always love yourself. You should always love your... Hey, okay, seriously, did you know... Okay, I know this is just a troll, but let's play with the troll for a minute. Did you actually know that the cocaine bear was actually a thing? I am a retired parole officer. So I know the strangest things. So I supervise mostly murderers and violent offenders. So a lot of people don't know that the cocaine bear was actually a true thing. Like, they were people that was drug smuggling that got into, they were trying to use small airplanes and important people to smuggle drugs, and they got caught, and they knew they'd been caught, and they knew that when they were grounded that they were going to be searched. They ditched the cocaine somewhere over Florida wilderness. Well, then a few days later, this guy finds this dead, huge black bear just dead in the middle of nowhere, but beside a very weird looking, like, huge duffel bag. And he was like, what in the crap? So he reported to his game warden. The game warden came out and was just as stumped because the bear looked perfectly healthy and just looked like he had fallen down dead. So they take the bear in for a necropsy, and they get the toxicology. And it comes back that was the duffel bag that the people in the plane had dumped. And the bear had gotten into it, apparently liked the first lick or two. Imagine that. Consumed all of it, which basically blew his heart up, and he died right there. And so, of all the odds of where they were, the location, and being as remote, somebody dissected that exact path and found that bear and solved this crime. It's like, how could that happen in the real world? It happened in the real world. And working in law enforcement for a decade, I can tell you the strangest stories, and they're true. And it's just like, it's crazy, you know. So people come on and say stuff like that, and they think they're, you know, I mean, you're basically farting downwind, and I mean, it's just going to come back on you. But when they say stuff like that, I'm like, okay, well, let me educate you on actually what occurred. So that's the true story of the cocaine bear, which is, I mean, how many other times do you think that a plane that dumped like a couple bags of drugs would be found by wildlife and then walked across by a person, and then have the game warden come in and solve this huge, you know, because they knew that they had this guy, but they didn't know where the rest of the loot went to, and that's where the bear consumed it all, and it basically blew up his heart. So, you know, I guess he went out with a bang. Yeah, cocaine is not good for black bears. It's not good for anyone. I don't think anyone should use it. And I am a chubby little redneck from Appalachia, but I used to not be a chubby little redneck. I used to be a very svelte Amazon. But I helped youth in state's custody at wilderness boot camps, and I was attacked with an axe, which started a lot of knee surgeries. And I gained a lot of weight because I had to be on a lot of steroids, and it never got better. Then they found out, it had created neuromuscular disorder with my central and sympathetic nervous systems, and basically it's like MS, only worse. So I am chubby, I am fat, I am a big old heifer. I'm a big old heifer. But I got that way by helping people out of addiction, helping young people get back on the straight way in life. And I didn't prosecute that young man. If I had, he would have gone to prison as an adult, and I couldn't do that to him. So, you know, I am what I am, but my body tells a story of probably 5,000 individuals that I've come across and helped and aided in some way to become more productive members of society after I was maimed and basically told, you'll be wheelchair bound, you know, in 5 years. Well, that was 7 years ago, and I'm still not wheelchair bound, and I'm fighting this disorder. And it's okay that ignorance comes on here and shows themselves to be ignorant. It's a lesson. It's a lesson in the social contract that we allow people to have these days. They think that they can come on and say anything to anybody, but if they were, you know, face to face, those are things that would never be said. So I would say probably you get on here to feel better about yourself because there's something that you don't love about yourself. I love myself, and I would want you to love yourself. I would want you to love yourself as much as I love myself. So when I see somebody come on and try to be mean to me, I immediately go, why don't you love yourself? You should love yourself. And if you don't, you should take time to get to know yourself and try to love yourself, because loving yourself opens the whole world up to you, because then you can love everyone else. You will never be able to show love to another person unless you truly love yourself. So it's very important that people learn how to communicate. I think that's something we've lost, especially in the younger generations. We've lost how to communicate and show affection, sympathy, empathy, and devotion to other people. Just admiration for what people have accomplished. But, you know, I mean, does it hurt my feelings? No. I mean, I carry my butt around all day with me. I know exactly how big it is. Thank you. know exactly how big it is. So it doesn't bother me at all. But it definitely does show that we have a younger generation that does not know how to behave, and that's why our prison populations keep growing. That's why gang affiliation numbers keep growing, and that is why assaults and domestic violence numbers keep growing, and that is why narcotic and substance abuse keep growing. And it's because people are so unhappy, and they think if they make someone else unhappy, they'll feel better. That's not the way that works. Unhappiness doesn't always bring unhappiness. Trying to bring me unhappiness tells me that I need to show you how to love yourself. So if you could get up in the morning and say like 3 things that you like about yourself, maybe hard the first day, but if you could say 3 things, that would be great. And then the people that you really don't like, if you could think of one good character trait about them that you really can tolerate, you're going to start to retrain your neural synapses. You're going to start to retrain the way the roadways in your brain. You're going to start to be a better person, act like a better person, have better social interactions, which create better social outcomes, which creates better society, which creates a better world. And it really does trickle down to the individual. And I'm sorry to say that right now you're an individual that is not bringing anything to the world. And to me, that's devastating because I think everybody has something to offer. And I think you need to dig deep and find something to offer because I know you have it in you. Because you spelled everything correctly, at least. I mean, I think you did. You know, most of the time when they insult me, they don't spell it correctly. It only hurts if you can spell it correctly. So, but, you know, people are people, you know, and people in pain like to create pain. And people that live a joyous life like to create joy. And you are known by the fruits that you create. And though I have dealt with some of the world's worst people that are double shackled and chained to the floor in chairs when I see them, I have found something to like about each and every one of them because I could not help them unless I could identify them as worthy of my help. And so therefore I had to find something to dig down deep and work on. And some of them, that one little spark that I found became a huge light that they're now going and shining and they're doing great. You know, so, you know, coming on here and saying nasty words without knowing the backstory, you might get a lesson. You might get a lesson. You might get a lesson in humility. You might be humbled a little bit. You might understand that not everybody that is this size started out this size, and that some people that are going through struggles and trying to reshape their body and reclaim their body after a lot of trauma. They've been through enough where words don't harm them. You know, and sadly, it seems like you've not been through anything, therefore you think words are harm. Words are not harm. But your behavior in 3 decades in this society that's already crumbling around us, that's real harm. That black spot in your heart that you allow to leach out every day instead of holding it back in and trying to put a little bit of love around it, a Band-Aid on it, that's what's harming our society. That's what's harming our society. So love yourself. Learn to love yourself. Learn to like something about you so that you can learn to like something about others. And don't expect other people to fulfill you or to meet your ideals because nobody will. And I'm always going to be me. I'm never going to be what other people expect, anticipate, desire, or want. I'm going to get up and be who I want to be, who I desire to be, who I anticipate to be, and who I want to live as. That's my goals. I get to control that. You don't. Your words don't. And so thinking words have power it's a vacuous place to live because your actions and your behavior and your love is the only thing that has power. That's where energy comes from. It doesn't come from nasty words. So, I mean, your nasty words, nothing. Heck, I supervise murders. I've been called everything but a white girl. It don't bother me. Misery loves company, and they sell tickets and they fill the stadium every night. And it's because people think if they're miserable, if I can make other people miserable, then I'll feel less miserable. And so we've got a lot of people trying to create misery, thinking they'll escape misery. Well, when you go to the dentist, you have a cavity. Do you create more cavities to escape that cavity? No. Misery is the only place that people use that, right? Yeah. Doesn't make sense. And then the other way, does it? No. That people keep thinking, well, I can escape this if I can make other people feel it. No, honey. No, honey. You don't. You just get deeper in the quagmire, and it's harder to pull you out. I hope you're young, and I hope it sticks, and I hope it made some sense, and I hope you learn to love yourself. And if you needed a hug, I'd give you one right now, but I don't think I can reach through this box. But I think you might need to go talk to somebody that loves you and tell them you're not feeling so hot tonight, and that you're taking your anger out on others. And that's not a very shining example of what a human being should do in this world, especially in today's environment. And ask them point blank, what do you think about me? What are 3 things I can improve on? What are 3 things about me you'd like to see me change? Start a dialogue with somebody that loves you and knows you. See what they say. You might be surprised. And then work on yourself. And start by saying 3 things you can love about yourself when you get up every morning. And it may just be that I can tie my shoes and I can put on my pants the right way. And I can match my clothes. Hey, well, we'll start with that. And it can grow from there. In 6 months, where will you be? You don't know, but you got to try. But if you keep doing this, you're still going to be on the internet yelling at people that don't care. And it's not going to bother. And people that have a master's in psychology that understands how vacuous void of life and love you must be to get on here and reach out for a human touch through a screen using nasty words. I think you need a hug. I think you need a hug, and you need somebody to give you a little bit of guidance. Probably a bot, yeah. Well, there's those big boys. Those big boys in Brooklyn where they popped a car. And that's Boston. But I mean, it doesn't matter regionally where you are or not. That's a sign. Anger and aggression is a sign of defense and despair. And those are 2 bad places to be and 2 bad things to mix. And so I would recommend that they talk to somebody, because it's not a good place to be. Been on YouTube since 2019, has 4 subs, and is energetically, what do we give the world? Energetically, what do we give the world? I try to give you all happiness, joy, and the best of me. And realism, real life, real struggles, real health issues, I wish the world was still real. I wish that kids still had to be face to face with people they had problems with. And I wish that street lights were what told kids to come home, instead of the fear of being abducted or the fear of certain offenders that live in their area, or just the anal retentive fear of their parents and won't allow them to be kids anymore. I wish we had a better society. But, I mean, when people want conflict, I rarely give them conflict. Normally, when they want conflict, I give them a hug. So that's just how I roll. It's just how I am, because I know that anger and being defensive like that, you're coping because you're there too. So your coping skills to make people feel worse than you so that you think you look and feel better. But a pig in the mud is still a pig in the mud. So, don't matter, which pig in the mud has more mud on it. It's still a pig in the mud. So climb out of the mud hole. Make something of yourself. Obviously, you know how to use a computer and communicate. 2 very precious skills in today's society. Get a job. So that's where we are. I am fixing to finish some crafts and do some stuff and keep myself busy until the hubby gets off work. He's been doing a lot of work in the fur shed. There's a couple of powwows coming up for the tribe over the next couple of months. I would like to go to one if my health holds up. I don't know if my health will hold up. I just take it day by day, and I'm not yet brave enough to make a lot of like long-term plans. So we'll see how that goes. But I really want to go just to kind of get back into it. I'm fixing to finish my Dawes registry so I can actually have my paperwork. So I've been working on that as well. And for anyone that doesn't know what the Dawes registry is, it is a way to do your genealogy to prove your lineage so that you can get your, basically get your tribal identification and your verification. And I mean, it's not going to really do anything for me except for when people look at me and say, you're not that. You look, because I look like my Irish father, I can hold up my Dawes registry and go, excuse you. So I would, hey, if I get to go to any of the tribal things, because they are a couple hours away, I would definitely do videos and definitely bring back as much footage as possible. So I would love to be able to share that side of things with you all and show y'all think I make some amazing things. No. You should see these women that, okay, I know how to do a peyote stitch, but my eyes are so bad I don't enjoy doing it anymore because it's really, really annoying. Especially when you're doing it with seed beads and little tiny needles. But these women that bead and braid these beautiful, it's not even clothing, it's works of art for the grass dancers in some of the warrior dances. And I mean, and the way that they actually split their feathers and create the hoop, which I can do if I wanted to take the time, but I don't do it because nobody really pays that much attention anymore to how things, are hung on a dream catcher. But now if it were to go on a bonnet or a tail fan, it would have that feather would have to be halved and then rolled back up to create that hoop, and put sinew around it to create that hoop. And that sinew you chew on, and then it sticks to itself and it hardens. And I actually have sinew floating around here somewhere. But I don't do that very often unless I know it's going to an authentic place. So I save the expensive sinew and that for the authentic places. But I would love to go and show you some true artists and some of the elegance and just the energy that is there in the ground, on the ground, in the air, in the crowd. It's just amazing when they start singing and dancing, and when they have the community dances and the community singing. It's just I'm already getting goosies. And if you don't know what that's called, it's what is it? Palo erection is your hair stands up. Now I shave a lot where I'm tattooed a lot, but I get the goosies and it stands straight up on, and that's not everybody can do that. That's a rare thing. But that's from the energy swap, and that energy swap with others, and feeling the energy, the battery power of other people around you. It's so important. Okay, you know what that's called then? It's called palo erection, yeah. And it's rare, and a lot of people can't do it anymore. And even just watching them on YouTube, if you can feel it, but to be there in the middle of it and to feel the chants and the way they chant, it kind of hits you. It hits you right here. It hits you with the breaths they take and the way they chop their breaths. Whether you're singing or not, it will hit you, and you can feel the energy. It's just a beautiful place to be. It's healing for the soul. It's healing for the body. And if I can get there, I'll take as much video as possible and do it. But I'm proud that they just come and buy a couple of my things a year to use in their ceremonies. That makes me just ecstatic. And I had a woman from a 4th tribe buy stuff for me on the 127 sale, and that was an honor. So now I've got stuff going every which way, but it's such an honor. But if I could feel good enough to get back to some of the powwows, because it is a drive from here because I am so remote, I would love to get back, because the energy there and the love and just it's, if you don't believe that you are a walking, energetic, kind of like a human antenna that needs to be around other people to energy swap and to share energy, you would believe it there because you feel it. And I tell everybody all the time that we are walking, talking batteries and antenna for our government. And they use it in a very negative way, I believe, most of the time. But if you could ever see it and feel it in a positive way, you would know how powerful it really is. And that's one place that I absolutely feel it is at those, especially the ones where they dance. And then they have the big community songs at the end. Those are, there's just, I've never felt anything. And I've been front row at a Queen concert where everybody was there for the same reason and love was flowing. And it was still a drop in the bucket to what I felt with my Native brothers and sisters and the love that was going. Yeah, it's very powerful, very powerful. So if I get there, I'll definitely will take video and share with you all because it is just magnificence that everyone should see. If you've never seen a hoop dancer, you need to see a hoop dancer. If you've never seen a grass dancer, you need to see a grass dancer. You need to see, if you can ever go by Cherokee, North Carolina, go to the Econolofty Cherokee Village. That's a great little mini view of a Cherokee village and kind of like a community house. And they kind of take you through the community and explain everything. That's a great little snippet of the world. But if you go to a powwow, you feel the love. And that's something that cannot be recreated anywhere else in any educational component. It can't be recreated. You got to be with a group of people that have open hearts, open minds, and open souls. And it's just amazing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I mean, I'm, even as a tiny one, not really knowing why mom would go to these, you know, just always going. I loved them. I loved them. I loved them. And of course, I was a big rodeo girl in high school, so I'd show up at the Indian powwows with a big cowboy hat on and boots, but they still treated me the same, you know. And I loved them. I loved the vibe, and I loved the respect for the elders that they had. I loved the standing on, what do they call it? They really held the precedence of history and community value in the elders and the people that raised them and took care of them and taught them. And they stood on ceremony, and it was such a beautiful thing to see. And it was so good for the little kids to learn, you know, because kids mimic everything. It was so beautiful to watch the little kids learn that, oh, when I'm around my elder, I bow my head, I ask permission, you know, and you just don't see that in any other society, you know. Not to say that Native Americans did not do their fair share of horrible things. They did. I mean, and the Cherokee will tell you, whew, we were a warring bunch of people. That's why we're so deviated and kind of spread. Some of us in Tennessee and North Carolina said, by God, we ain't leaving this land. Some of us said, okay, we'll leave if it, you know, is good for us. And that's why the Cherokee went about 14 different ways. And there's so many deviations from the main clan. And so I'm from the Lenape that come from down from the Delaware to here and that stayed in this area and did not move. But that's why also Cherokee and Navajo, and they share a lot because as they all got moved west, they all kind of merged and started sharing, you know, all the stories kind of became one because they were all similar anyway. They all kind of became one. So like the medicine colors, the medicine wheel, and the creator and all that stuff, they all kind of became one. That's why Cherokee tears, juniper beads are also known as ghost beads by the Navajo. And so a lot of things we share because they got put on reservations and they were forced to, become a conglomerate. You reported them, bless her heart. It's probably just somebody, bless her heart, having a really bad night. And it's sad. It's just sad. We'll just, sit down tonight and toss a prayer up for that person because they're obviously not in a good mental place and they're struggling with themselves. Because the only time you show that you're struggling with yourself is when you take it out on others. If everybody ever bum rushes me and blah, 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 my first thought is, are you okay? What's wrong with you? What's going on with you? You know, because normally that aggression is a defense mechanism. That anger is a defense mechanism, and it means something's wrong in my world. I'm not dealing with it, so therefore I'm going to attack you, and it's going to take my mind off of it. I'm going to cope that way, and it doesn't work out very well. So just pray for people like that. And sadly, that is the majority of our younger people growing up with no respect, no care, no morals, no thought for how other people feel, no sympathy, no empathy, absolutely nothing for any other, you know. And y'all know it don't bother me. Literally, I've been called everything but a white fat girl. But I mean, I know I'm a white fat girl. I mean, that's why I showed you my whole body in the last few Monjero videos. I mean, it's like, hey, it's like if you're gonna get the full picture, you need the full picture. I'll show you the full picture. So, but people like that have, you know, their hearts are in a bad place, but they're also in a place where they can be pulled back to a better place. And they're in that in between. They haven't gone rogue yet. They're still reaching out. They're just reaching out in a nasty way, but still reaching out. Now, when this person stops reaching out, that is when it will become very much more difficult to meet them halfway and pull them back into a positive mind frame. So at least they're still reaching out. So that's why I went to a soft place. Now, sometimes they tick me off and I drag them through the mud a little bit, but I didn't feel the need to do that with this one. But that is the true story about the cocaine bear. So y'all got a little story in there, whether you wanted it or not. She is. Yes, your daughter's doing amazing. She set a commitment in her life and she's meeting it every day. And she knows that some days are going to be harder than others, but she set a commitment and she's doing great. And she's learning, number one, to respect herself, because that's how we learn to respect others. And yeah, I've seen the change. I've seen the change. And I'm if I had to like give someone an award for the year of the biggest change in behavior and personality, I'd probably give it to your daughter. Gosh, I need to like wrap up a Dr. Pepper in aluminum foil and turn it into a trophy and bring her a trophy. Wouldn't that be something? Now here's some sugar. Go have fun. Oh goodness. But yeah, she's done wonderful. She's done amazing. She's had a huge year this year. It's been a good one for her. All right, well, I'm going to put my gnome and my little figurines back up, and I'm going to clean up this mess I've made, and I'm going to finish some crafts, and then we'll hit it Thursday night. Hopefully Thursday or Friday night we'll do a live craft. Other than that, look for little short videos and little community posts. And you know, even if I'm not here, I'm still doing stuff because I've got a lot of stuff coming up for David. Whether I'm healthy enough to go with him or not, I still want to help when I can. So a lot of that turned into labeling and tagging and doing the boring stuff here at the house. But I do it because it's my way of helping, because I never know what stage my health is going to be at on the day that he goes somewhere, and I may not be able to go. So I'm still busy doing stuff. If I ever do get sick, I've taught David how to post. Someone will tell you if I am sick. But I'm doing so much better that right now I'm just busy. And my nurse is super proud of me. My physical therapist is super proud of me. I've been doing physical therapy on my own, but staying in touch with my physical therapist. And I'm going to be going back to physical therapy either at the gym or in home again this winter. And, you know, we're going to keep it going. You know, I didn't get on this train for a short ride. I'm on it for a long haul. So we're going to keep going. And I am extremely happy. You know, I still have to take necessary naps, and I still have times where I have to put my legs up and my feet up, and I still have days where my muscles don't function correctly, and I'm a little fumbly and not as coordinated as I want to be. But overall, the flares are reducing to a more controllable level, and I'm able to have more good weeks in between. And so if I can have at least a breath in between the flares to prepare for the next one, I'm good. I just wasn't getting those breaths the last couple of years. But now that I'm starting to, life is so much more doable. It's just so much more enjoyable. So I'm going to stay on this track and see where it takes me, and do the best I can with it, and try my hardest to make sure that I use this medication to do the best and the most possible, so that when I am done with it, I've learned to maintain this myself. So that's where I am. But I'm doing great, and still a fat heifer, but I'm a pretty fat heifer. So, but I am losing a lot through here. A lot of the RSD swelling that would stay with me and had stayed with me for the last year or so is not staying, it's leaving me. And I think after that, probably we'll start to see the fat start to decrease, which I'm seeing my clothing. I'm starting to see it already. But we're getting there, we're getting there. I don't want to get there fast and quick because I need to learn as I go. So I'm okay with slow and steady, but we're getting there. So just keep praying for me and we'll keep getting there. And Denise, since I've caught up with you all, we'll check on you tomorrow via the phone. It is almost 9:30. It's 9:30. It's 9:30. You're not going to do it now. Oscar is not participating. He is not happy. He lost his girl yesterday. She went home. And he's mad at the world. Hey, that guy on the internet, do you need a grumpy dog? Because y'all are at the same mental place right now. You want a dog? You might need a hug. He'll give you one. He might bite you after, but he'll give you one. Yeah, he lost his when his girl left. He was like, when she was packing our stuff up, he was like, "Oh man, she's leaving again." And he's been beside himself today. He's needed a little bit more love today. So, but he is not participating at all. So say a prayer for Oscar. He's struggling. Okay, Denise, I will check on you tomorrow. And Gypsy, I'll probably talk to you later, but I will probably also check on you in the morning. And going to be doing a bunch of stuff. So just watch the channel, watch the community page. Don't worry about me. I'm doing good. Just getting David ready for a bunch of traveling vendor sales, because a lot of people have asked him to please bring his fur for display, if nothing else. So he's going to go, and very proud of my husband. He does something that's very hard, difficult, and not a lot of people can do. And he's finally getting noticed for how good his work is. So I'm tickled that he is having all these things affirmed, because when you work in a factory, you don't get any positive affirmations from anyone, not even yourself. You just go to work and you come home and so his hobby is starting to kind of give him a secondary wind, a secondary life, a secondary goal and energy level, and an extra support group. So it's been really good for him. So I'm very proud of him and very proud of the work he does. And I hope that I turn the little bits that he leaves to me into stuff that he's proud to take with him as well. So that's where we are. Now we're all caught up. I can't keep this thing. If I was to think real hard, it would shoot right off the top of my head. I swear my brain moves. I swear it does. But we'll try this again Thursday night to do some crafting. And boy, then they can come in and tell me I'm a fat, ugly woman with a glue gun that doesn't work, because this, by God, what is this? This is a AdTech 210. I must be I have glue gun radar for the glue guns that don't work. So, if you want to show back up Thursday night and tell me how fat and ugly I am, and then I have a glue gun that doesn't work, you're more than welcome to, because all three of those things will be true, and then we'll talk through some more of your problems, because this sucker does not work at all. That's where we'll be. We'll be using the power of the glue gun when we craft Thursday or Friday night, hopefully Thursday. So I'm going to shut up now, let Oscar out to pee, and I will see you all Thursday and in the videos. Until then, keep an eye on the channel. Lots of stuff coming, interesting photos, love-yins. Show other people love, even the people that sometimes you think don't deserve it, because they're the ones that need it the most half the time. And sometimes you just got to love the devil out of somebody to give them a little bit of Jesus. Bye, guys.